tragedy also is not only do they tend to die very painful and drawn out physical deaths, but to me the tougher thing to watch is the emotional aspect. The number of people that we watch die alone, with nobody in the room with them, surrounded by no family, is I think one of the greatest tragedies of our time, to watch people die like that.
So critical that we get past the stigma of being tested, and to have prominent people being willing to say, this is important. It is important that I know my status. This is not scary. This is part of taking care of yourself, part of healthy messaging about your body and your own health. That's just critical.
Good morning, my faithful YouTube subscribers. Today it is the last day of January 2019. This is January 31st. January 31st, the year is 2019. January has flown by. We already got 11 months left. Make the most of it. In that video you just saw, it talks about the HIV crisis here in Atlanta, and how in 2019 we're losing 100 patients a year to death from AIDS at the Grady clinic. You know, it's the grim reality of Atlanta's at Grady Hospital. 100 people die each year of AIDS-related illnesses despite doctors' tireless efforts. Few health clinic facilities, and this article is dated Wednesday, January the 16th, 2019. Few health facilities in America have done more in the fight against HIV and AIDS than the Grady's Health, Ponce, Center. I remember that place opened. That's how long I've been in Atlanta. At this Atlanta clinic, staff, counsel people getting tested for HIV, perform the test, talk about the consequences of the result, and if necessary, arrange for people to receive treatment immediately. Sometimes, far too often, they are present as patients die. An HIV diagnosis is no longer a death sentence. Effective drugs mean people can live with HIV. People with HIV can lead normal or even extraordinary lives. But that requires people getting tested, acknowledging they have the virus, and taking the medicine to manage it. And for some people, it's too much to do. Great doctors at Grady say each year they lose around 100 patients to AIDS-related illnesses. That figure is horrifying. In London, a city of 10 million people, 42 such deaths were recorded in 2017, and 51 in 2016. And as the doctors at Grady's point out, these deaths were just one of several hospitals in the city of Atlanta, which has a population of just 50,000. So they got patients dying in all these hospitals of AIDS here in Atlanta, not just there. The numbers alone are certainly astonishing. For 2016 and 2007, a single hospital in Atlanta area, we have lost 100 individuals a year, mostly young people, and this is the key to this. The tragedy is not only do they tend to die very painful, drawn-out physical deaths, but the tougher the thing to watch is the emotional aspect. The number of people that we watch die alone, with no one in the room with them, surrounded by no family, is one of the greatest tragedies of our times. And years ago, in the early 90s, when my friends were dying of AIDS, and I would go to the hospital, I'd be the only person there. Where were their family members? Where were all these friends? Where was everybody? I never understood it. I see nothing has changed. In the past 6 months, At least 10 different people I know have contacted me after they tested positive. Literally, some of them call me the day of. People I see around town who trust me. They were all under the age of 30. They all were fairly newcomers to Atlanta. Most of them hadn't even been here a year or two. When they share with me their diagnosis and they don't know where to start, I immediately start calling people I knew and call this person, go here, go to this person. You know that empath in me, that person that comes to rescue everybody. But it's disheartening because I get these calls and I already know. And at first I get a text, I need to talk to you, and I kind of say, okay. And then that call comes later, and I already know. They don't even have to, and it's just, I keep asking myself, how can we bring down this infection rate when we have such wonderful drugs like Truvada for PrEP? There are some amazing things going on that can help people not contract HIV anymore. When these guys get to Atlanta, I immediately always tell them, go get on PrEP. Get on Truvada. A lot of them don't. I get a pushback like, well, I don't want to be on a drug or medication if I don't need to be. But if you're a black gay man, I think you need to be on it. If you're a black gay man who's sexually active, and you know you're not always using condoms, and you know you're sometimes having sex with people you really don't know, and you know you're out there just doing whatever, don't take the chance with your life. Like they're pointing out, these people, you got 100 people down at one hospital per year here in Atlanta. That's just at the Grady clinic, over at Grady Hospital. And the reason why is that for a lot of people, they struggle to take the medication. They struggle to stay in compliance. They struggle to get to doctor's appointments. They struggle because there's so much going on in their lives. They just put it to the back. They put it to the rear and say, I'm not going to focus on this right now. And that can prove to be deadly. They have to get the virus under control. Got to get on medication. Must be at those doctor's appointments. Got to go to these clinics. And people don't do it. For many reasons that we may never understand. I've had friends in recent years die from AIDS. Some people who were contracted AIDS and in 2 and 3 years they were dead. And I would say, well, what happened? They just couldn't comply. They didn't know how to comply. They didn't have somebody in their corner pushing for them. And then just the mental aspect of knowing that they were HIV positive for some people is just overwhelming. They can't take it. I started trying to talk to them. People started, it was funny because a friend of mine, one of my called me up yesterday and said, Walter, somebody said you were toxic. I'm like, you know what? If I was this toxic person, why do these guys ring this phone off the hook? Why am I so actively involved in these guys' lives after they test positive? Why am I the only person that might run them to a doctor's appointment and go here and there since I'm such a toxic person? I fight for people to live. I want people to live a normal life. I've had so many people tell me over the years about their HIV positive status, and they don't know where to start. First thing you got to start here, getting over that hurdle, and loving yourself. Loving yourself enough to go to those doctor's appointments, even though I've had people tell me they don't like going to certain clinics, they don't like going to certain hospitals, they don't like the Grady clinic, they don't like this. I say, well, where else you gonna go? Get your ass down there. There's a lot of shit I don't like to do that I go on a regular basis. Sometimes you do have to do things you really don't want to do, especially if you want to live. Get over those fears. There's too many people in our community who are living with HIV who will still be running around here living in shame. That doesn't make sense to me. Your life doesn't stop. You could stop your life. Now you got something to share around. It's a tough one. I'm not saying it's easy for anybody when they first find out they're HIV positive. There are some issues there. that they have to tackle. And sometimes the main issue is what led up to this. A lot of times there was not enough love in your life. Not enough self-love to say, I better protect myself. And that bad habit continues even after they've been diagnosed with HIV. They still don't make the proper changes. That's why you got 100 folks dying at one hospital. These are all young folks, young black folks. I already know. I've known about this for quite some time. But the black community and the black gay community insist upon hiding this information. They don't agree with any of this stuff. Every time they come out and report, I see pushback from within the black gay community. White folks this is racist. This is just like, okay, what is going on in you niggas' minds? Niggerville can be a deadly ignorant place. So I moved out of Niggerville, never going back there again. You cannot stay locked in a place and blame everything on racism. It's insane. It's just sad. Anyway, this is going to be a short video. I just wanted to share that about the Grady Clinic here in Atlanta. And I got to get dressed. I got a bunch of stuff I need to do today. I'm going to come back and revisit this thing with B. Smith. I saw a lot of the comments in my post, that video I did. Some people are very critical of this man's decision that I support. It's not me. No, here's the deal. What's good for somebody else might not be right for you. Would I do that if I was in the situation? Probably not. But I don't know what's going on in his mind. I'm not walking in his shoes. I'm not 70-something years of age. Looking at death's door. We don't know what's going on in his mind. But I'll talk about that in another video because I want to discuss that. Because some of you all are being very, very critical. And they keep attacking this woman that he's dating because she's white. Well, I don't understand that. What is the issue with black? I mean, do black women really dislike racially integrated interracial marriages? Relationships? It doesn't bother me. I never cared about. If somebody's in love with somebody white, black, or from Mars, they got shit to do with me. Be happy. I would never attack somebody over their choice to date someone else out of a different race. In fact, love who you want to love is how I view it. But we'll talk about that in another video. But anyway, let me get out of here. I got to run up the street and take care of something. Today it is Thursday, January 31st. And the last day of January. It's cold outside too. Super Bowl weekend here in Atlanta. Look forward to reading you all's comments. And you all have a great day. I'm out of here.